Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. First up in the news, we have some Cardano. Following the Byron phase, the 11th largest digital asset by market will enter the Shelley phase in Q1 of 2019. That is now up until the end of March. The fundamentals set by Byron when it comes to interaction. Shelley will be commenced with the target to lure more developers toward the platform with more features and more stability. With Shelley, the network is seen as completely decentralized. Accordingly, the Open Ouroboros delegation will be introduced in the cryptoverse, which is being injected into the network. That sounds very intense. They said, Byron established the baseline for Cardano and allowing users to trade and transfer ADA or ADA. Shelley is focused on ensuring that key elements are in place so that the technology grows into a fully decentralized and autonomous system. In 2019, the features of Shelley will be released, starting with the delegation and stake pool testnets. Cardano roadmap site is right there. They said as we progress through Shelley, work will be done that contributes to stability, interoperability, and governance. Throughout the arc of development, Cardano's protocols will increase in complexity, interdependence, and use more exotic cryptographic primitives. Charles Hoskinson, the co-creator of Cardano, added on Twitter that the finalization of the delegation mechanics is nearing. Here's the actual tweet for it. He said he has about 50 pages of math to actually go through. So this is, I'm actually pretty surprised that we actually haven't heard more about this over the last couple of months or something like that. Like we knew. So first of all, the entire point is that the Shelley update or upgrade to Cardano is kind of going to be the thing that everyone kind of has been waiting for. It's supposed to be like the beginning of the completion of Cardano, as in like Cardano is a moving, working thing, but it's not completely complete, apparently, according to some of the people who I know are obsessed with Cardano. Shelley is supposed to be the thing that kind of brings the entire platform forward, that a lot of people have kind of been waiting for. Obviously, no official time and or date. We know it's going to happen within the next 2.5 months, which is kind of very exciting because this seems like a long time coming, even though Cardano isn't that old of a coin. But Cardano is still, a lot of people think that Cardano could potentially be one of the largest cryptocurrencies that we have. A lot of people are betting and or gunning for Cardano, thinking that Cardano or the ADA token is going to be a contender to Ethereum and to many other platforms that we have out there. So this will be the final test. We spoke about this in 2018 as well. There were many cryptocurrencies projects that kept on coming forward, and they were talking about that they were better and so than everyone else. And many of them have launched and or are out to the public right now. I think like maybe one or two of them are still expected to launch sometime in 2019. So let's see if this actually ends up going off without a hitch, and if Cardano can reach new heights price-wise, because, yeah, that's kind of the major ultimate test, at least that we have right now floating around in the cryptocurrency space. Yeah, let's move on. Next up, once again, the Lightning Network is in the news. I think Lightning at this point is impossible to not have in the news. There's just so much happening with the Lightning Network. A new feature for Bitcoin's Lightning Network implementation allows users to send funds instantly without needing to first create an invoice. The latest upgrade, called Sphinx, which developers describe as being a work in progress, is nonetheless already available to everyone or anyone. They said the coolest part about this new feature is that it can be used today in the wild as long as both nodes are updated to this branch. This was said by Olaoluwa Osuntokun, who I guess is one of the developers. He wrote in a GitHub repository dedicated to the project. Here's the actual thing that he has right there, and I assume one can only assume that that is also him. The Lightning Network is a protocol currently active for Bitcoin and Litecoin, which allows users to send tokens instantly and for a fee of less than 1 cent. It's even less than that. Talk about the growth of it, so and so and so. So Sphinx, which Osuntokun says allows users to start exploring a new set of use cases, aims to solve that predicament. He says it removes the need to create a payment invoice for a transaction, allowing more spontaneous activity and sidelining a major technical element potentially off-putting for novices. This is only a draft implementation, and while it works today on mainnet out of the box, if both sides are upgraded, much of this will likely change. Sphinx caps a frenetic development period for Lightning Network, which has continued throughout 2018. Despite fluctuations, capacity, node, and channel numbers have all reached new highs in recent weeks. According to data from monitoring source 1ML, Bitcoin's Lightning capacity is now 571 BTC and has 19,500 channels, which the last time we spoke about this, even a couple days ago, I think it had 18,000 channels. So it's growing quite rapidly. One of the really interesting, first of all, the fact that Lightning Network has been in the news this much constantly. It launched in 2018. People were using it. I think they were like 7 nodes or something like that. It's expanding rapidly. I told you guys before why I think that it's expanding rapidly. One of the other things that I'm kind of waiting for specifically for the Lightning Network is that as of right now, I believe Lightning is like in like a working beta, so it's still being developed. It's still being so like when you try to do certain things, there are developers who will warn you, if you will, and they tell you to use caution and have an idea of what you're actually doing on the platform before you start using it yourself, which I think obviously at some point will be completely smoothed out. But when I listen around and on certain podcasts and even just certain people who are, I listen to things and I try to read things about the Lightning Network, apparently there's not a discrepancy, but there's like a discussion going on as to whether Bitcoin, if it will ever be able to have smart contracts, if Bitcoin will ever be able to have websites and other things built on top of it. I think at this point it's possible to like write things on certain blocks and insert photos into the blockchain, what have you. But the true test of everything is going to be if Bitcoin is capable of doing the same thing that every other blockchain is going to be capable of doing, or that they are already capable of doing. The developers say that the next step after being able, this is just one thing, being able to send a transaction without having to do an invoice. Wonderful. The true step is, as Lightning continues to develop, a lot of developers are saying that you will eventually be able to actually use the Lightning Network to facilitate transactions on smart contracts and to facilitate transactions through video games and all this other stuff, i.e. what we were talking about the last video, the video before that. When it comes to being able to play video games on a lot of these platforms, like we will probably never, ever be able to play a full game on the Bitcoin mainnet, on the Bitcoin core chain. That's just not a possibility in life at this point. But the other layers that are being built around it, apparently they will grow so large that we will eventually, according to developers, maybe not in the next year or two, but in the next 5 to 10 years, actually have a Bitcoin network with all the different layers and stuff around it, such as Lightning, that will allow us to actually maybe even surf the internet the same way that I'm currently doing right now. Kind of interesting. I'm desperately waiting to see exactly how much Lightning is going to develop in 2019. I think this is leading up to something very big. So we've seen, this major uptick in the amount of Lightning nodes that are kind of and payment channels that are being put out there. I'm expecting a very huge uptick, and I don't know if it's going to happen towards the middle of February or maybe the beginning of March. And this is kind of the time frame that I'm actually giving back to actually launch. I don't think it's going to happen in 10 days anymore. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't even think the beginning of February. I have a strange feeling because of the entire situation that we have right now that this may not be a thing until March. Just my time frame. I know it's not too nice having to wait a bit longer, but this is looking like what's going on. Once we get proper confirmation that other companies and stuff like that are using Lightning Network and it kind of goes out there and more people kind of know about it, and we have more like nodes that we can kind of buy it out of the box and plug into our computer, I think it's going to completely explode. And this is going to be a major test, I think, because up to now, Bitcoin has been this slow, laggy network that nobody wants to use. But the moment that we know that it's possible to be able to build websites and smart contracts and all this other stuff on top of the other layered solutions, I think it's going to be a very big moment for Bitcoin's journey, if you kind of want to say that. So this is, a lot of people have been discussing this. I'm not surprised. The Malaysian cryptocurrency regulation comes into effect on Tuesday. That is, at this time, tomorrow. This was reported by Reuters. The Malaysian finance minister, his name is Lim Guan Eng, reportedly said that today that the Capital Markets and Services Order of 2019 would become effective on the 15th of January. According to Reuters, the new regulation classifies digital currencies, tokens, and crypto assets as securities, placing them under the Securities Commission's authority starting from Tuesday. Here's the weird part. Any person operating unauthorized ICOs or digital asset exchanges in Malaysia will be reportedly facing a 10-year jail sentence and a 10 million ringgit fine that apparently is 2.4 million US dollars. So this is not good news for people in that country. It's nice to see, looking at the silver lining, that cryptocurrencies aren't banned. It's nice to see that people are able to deal and trade in cryptocurrencies. You apparently clearly have to have some type of a license to be able to even have an ICO or a cryptocurrency exchange. I can only imagine that the stipulations to actually have one that they consider legal and under their jurisdiction is going to be completely insane. And if you do not have any of these things, a 10-year jail sentence and a $2.4 million fine is their word above the word excessive. I think it's a bit crazy. I think that's actually the word that I'll put in its place. But to each his own, their own, what have you. According to Malaysian news outlet The Star, Ng noted the positive outlook of the Ministry of Finance on the cryptocurrency industry, stating, and I do quote, "The Ministry of Finance views digital assets as well as its underlying blockchain technologies as having the potential to bring about innovation in both old and new industries," end quote. Namely, Ng noted that the ministry believes digital assets offer both an alternative fundraising method and a new asset class for investors. As Cointelegraph reported, the Malaysian government was still undecided whether to legalize cryptocurrencies just 2 days ago. I would like to believe in a more perfect world that we will eventually get to a situation. So they're not the only country to do something like this. This is probably the most ridiculous that I've actually seen from different countries around the world. However, I like to tell myself, or I like to think, as crypto continues to become a growing megaforce across the world, countries like this will probably be forced, not like, physically forced, but monetarily forced, to kind of ease up on their rules to make it a bit easier for people to be able to deal with cryptocurrencies in their country. As of right now, there's no indication that cryptocurrencies are illegal. Like I said, normal people are apparently able to buy, sell, trade, what have you with these coins. Once again, to kind of end this discussion about this, I don't know if you noticed, I noticed it right off the bat. When we talk about regulations around the world and in different countries, the thing that stands out to me always is that the only way that countries seem to have figured out how to control or regulate cryptocurrencies comes down to ICOs and cryptocurrency exchanges. And for those who have been paying attention, comically enough, it took all these countries about 1.5 years, 2 years to figure out the paperwork to put ICOs under their jurisdiction. At the same exact time throughout 2018, ICOs are dying or are dead, according to a couple of analysts. STOs are apparently going to be the new thing. And also no one really is kind of gunning for STOs anymore. The whole new thing is kind of airdrops. And also on top of that as well, with governments trying to control cryptocurrency exchanges, you may have noticed we have a new trend developing, especially from Binance, because they're also releasing one, of decentralized exchanges that have no focal point and are not really being run by any one central group, the same exact way that our blockchains are being run. So a lot of this seems a little weird. I think that governments needed, for their own sake of sanity, in my opinion, that they needed to figure out a way to kind of put a stamp on something and say, yeah, we have control. No one's really using ICOs. I can almost assure you during the next bull run, the amount of ICOs are going to not be as large as they were in 2017, or you're going to see a lot more airdrops or people, airdropping coins once we, depending on which coins you were holding, or trying to fork stuff so that people get these things for free. And also it's believed within the next 2, 3, 4 years that decentralized exchanges should be ironed out more than enough so that they will completely replace the cryptocurrency exchanges that we have right now. And then things like this kind of just become old paperwork that has no real relevance anymore. 10 years in jail for creating an ICO? Like, what were they thinking? I'm not in that country, so more power to them. But yeah, let's move on. I'm going to breeze over this one. I thought this one was actually kind of weird. Cryptocurrency exchange known as Gate.io said on Saturday that $100,000 worth of Ethereum Classic had been returned following a recent hack. In an announcement, the exchange further said that it tried to contact the 51% attacker, but has not received any reply so far. Oh my gosh, I wonder why. They added, "We still don't know the reason. If the attacker didn't run it for profit, he might have been a white hacker who wanted to remind people of the risks in blockchain consensus and hashing power security," end quote. The exchange warned that the hashing power of Ethereum Classic's network is still not strong enough and that another 51% attack is still possible. As of press time, Ethereum Classic is trading at $4.34, which is still kind of weird because for some reason the price didn't go down at all. It kind of like trended sideways as we had confirmation from multiple other places that there was a 51% attack. Last week, Gate.io confirmed that it had lost about 40,000 Ethereum Classic, worth around $200,000 at the time, in a 51% attack, an incident where more than 50% of the blockchain's computing power is aggregated and controlled by one organization to change the network's transaction history and potentially to double spend cryptocurrencies. The exchange at the time identified 3 addresses that it said were tied to the attacker in question. In Saturday's post, the exchange said that it had launched a strict 51% detect for enhanced protection. I mean, like I said, I'm going to kind of breeze over this one. I thought it was very interesting. We don't see things like this very often. It's not every day that someone is a hacker or that they 51% control anything and they end up taking money from an organization and kind of giving half of it back. It could be guilt. Maybe they felt really bad because they made the headlines. Maybe they're keeping 100,000 for themselves as like a don't ever do this again. Make sure your network's more protected. But I still think that these things are happening on purpose. As far as like last summer, we had I think 7 or 8 cryptocurrencies that were air quotes experiencing 51% attacks. In some sort of way, especially I think we had like 4 groups or something like that who were trying to attack Bitcoin Cash. Nothing came of it, but I think my opinion, it seems a bit too obvious for me. Either people are attacking these things because they desperately want the money and these seem to be the easiest blockchains, or they have some type of a vendetta against them. I've believed for quite some time that there are probably a lot of Bitcoin maximalists and or maybe even Ethereum maximalists who are attacking different chains simply because they want to show the superiority of their chain that they believe in. All speculation, obviously, but I guess good job on that person on being a slightly honest thief. Very, very interesting. Keeping Ethereum still in the news, Google has reportedly blacklisted keywords mentioning Ethereum on its advertising platform known as Google Ads. This was said in a tweet by Decenter a couple of days ago. The official Google Ads account replied to the tweet, stating that cryptocurrency exchanges targeting the United States and Japan can be advertised on the platform, and that targeting other countries could be the reason for an ad rejection. When Decenter explained that they are a group of developers doing smart contract security audits, and that they were seeing the error message when they tried to use the Ethereum development services and Ethereum security audits keywords, Google Ads official account answered, although we wouldn't be able to preemptively confirm if your keyword is eligible to trigger ads, we'd recommend that you refer to the cryptocurrency section of the policy on financial products and services, without reading anymore because it kind of drags on. People were speculating that, and I mean, I think people in the cryptocurrency space are trying to, in my opinion, we're constantly digging and trying to figure out what's happening so desperately in the cryptocurrency space, why things are happening, why they're not happening, what could potentially be going wrong. When these people put out that their things were being flagged with this right here because of the word, it appears that it was because of the word Ethereum. People were speculating that Google might have some type of a vendetta against Ethereum And then people were talking about that Google probably owns a large amount of Bitcoin, and this is why they're doing this against Ethereum. No one actually knows why. Between Google and Facebook, they are having a very weird period in their lives where they're simply 2018, where almost said Facebook and Google banned all ads and anything for cryptocurrencies on their platforms, and then they announced that they would only allow not regulated projects, but it was kind of like a bigger names. They didn't say bigger names outright, but it was like if you are like a legitimate project, and this is why people were like, okay, we'll definitely eventually see ads for things about Bitcoin and Ethereum and XRP and maybe some of the other coins, and also I think ads for Coinbase started showing up again. But apparently the word Ethereum is being flagged in some sort of way. No one exactly knows why. I mean, kind of is what it is. I don't think it's ever going to be a possibility at this point, at least in my opinion. I would have loved to have seen so many people who create these cryptocurrency projects. Maybe it'll come along in a couple of years. I would have loved to have seen the development of a Google type platform that was decentralized, that was built maybe on top of another cryptocurrency project. Maybe they simply can't handle the amount of search results and stuff like that would be put out, and the amount of people searching. You know, I mean, realistically, if imagine something like Google trying to run on top of Ethereum, or even running on top of EOS or any other platform. Like, they can handle like 5 to maybe 10,000 transactions per second. But imagine if you're like Google and you have like 5 million per minute or something like that. Probably not going to work out as well, but I hope that at some point we actually end up having something like search functions providers that we don't have to rely on these companies anymore. Google is a very weird company, and as of right now, I mean, if you pay attention to all of Google and Amazon, their acquisitions are some of the craziest things in the entire world. I don't think Google or Amazon is going to go away anytime soon. Just kind of how I feel about it. Anyway, didn't mean to get off track, but you kind of know what I'm talking about. Will we have a decentralized Google? Probably not in the next like 5 years, unless blockchains like really do something completely spectacular. To kind of finish things off, U.S. crypto exchange known as Bittrex is launching an over-the-counter trading desk, or an OTC trading desk. The new service, which will allow approved clients to quickly and conveniently trade assets, will support nearly 200 cryptocurrencies already offered by the exchange, the company announced on Monday. According to the exchange, the OTC desk will provide guaranteed pricing for major trades, typically for $250,000 or greater. OTC trading desks facilitate direct transactions between two parties, unlike exchange trading, where buy and sell orders are matched through an order book. The desk itself will not go live until around 6 p.m. on Monday. I assume that has already passed. Maybe that is American time. In a statement, CEO Bill Shihara called the new offering a game-changing trading option, highlighting the number of tokens Bittrex intends to offer on the new platform. He added, and I do quote, "With one of the most extensive selections of digital assets of any OTC desk available, this offering will be another way for Bittrex to further advance adoption of blockchain technology worldwide, while also providing our customers with price certainty and a fast and easy way to trade large blocks of digital assets." Yes, many other over-the-counter trading desks that we've seen, especially if you even want to simplify it and go to Coinbase, do not have an enormous amount of cryptocurrencies. I think 200 cryptos for an OTC desk is it's probably where the numbers should always be until we have like more solidified and established cryptocurrency projects out there. I'm going to assume this obviously is not for everyone. This is why it says approved clients. Still no actual, we know that first of all, we know that the over-the-counter market is becoming incredibly large, and probably is a lot larger than any of us can even begin to imagine, simply because this is not, it's just not Coinbase and Bittrex. There are probably hundreds of places around the world, even like private companies and stuff like that, who are offering cryptocurrency over-the-counter trading services. But as of right now, we know from the numbers that we've been getting from other places and other companies boasting about it, that apparently billions of dollars in over-the-counter sales are happening. And this is, someone asked before, and I think a comment, and many other times, I see these questions sprinkled around. Why they don't, how do I say this? People were asking how over-the-counter trading was possible. it happens between two people. Typically, it'll be between Bittrex and someone else. Just going up to them saying, hey, I would like to do this. It's a way of not doing it on the cryptocurrency exchange. Someone asked if it was happening on the blockchain. Yes, these things still happen on the blockchain. It's just that they don't happen on the Bittrex website. So it'll pretty much be like they open up an order book. Imagine we're in the 1800s and someone opens up a book and writes down a number inside of it, and then someone hands them cash, and then someone hands them like a physical coin. It's kind of the same exact idea. It's just that these numbers aren't recorded on the numbers on the actual cryptocurrency exchange, on the like digital order book, simply because we would see it reflected immediately. Like, especially if you're putting in like a buy order for $10 million and you're putting it like at market price, you would absorb every single one that's being sold at that moment, and there would be a huge fluctuation in price. And what ends up happening is that when that fluctuation in price happens, it kind of mimics on all the other exchanges as well. Somebody wonders, why was there an order for $10 million? What do they know that I don't know? And this kind of ends up setting the market off. So this is why a lot of very rich people have been doing the over-the-counter trading, because they're trying to accumulate cryptocurrencies as the prices are falling so that they get a favorable amount. Because realistically, if we had a situation in 2018 where we had billions with a B of dollars being put into cryptocurrencies through the actual exchanges, prices would be a lot higher. But then, I mean, the people also buying them would have gotten them at a price that they didn't really want to get them. Anyway, very interesting information. I wonder exactly how this is going to affect the market as we end up going forward. At the moment, the prices are going up. I don't know why. There hasn't been any significant, really good news. We know that Ethereum, I've said this before, is a base pairing on just about every single cryptocurrency exchange. It's usually Bitcoin, and then like Ethereum is to the side. There seems to be a lot of speculation that Ethereum is, first, I think the Ethereum upgrade of Constantinople is like a couple of days away. Everyone's incredibly excited for this. If this goes off without a hitch, if it does end up working properly, like I said before, just beating that dead horse once again, this lays the foundation for proof of stake. If this all ends up going well, Ethereum is potentially, fingers crossed, going to do very well. And we've seen before in the past, when you are a base pair and you do very well, you kind of drag the rest of the market up with you. So let's hope that this continues, and let's hope that we get, first of all, that Constantinople actually ends up happening, because it was delayed before, and that Ethereum's price continues to go up. Yeah, interesting times in the cryptocurrency space. All right, everyone. That is definitely going to do it for this video. Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely wonderful. Thank you all once again for your support and or watching and or listening and or beaming it into your head. I don't think we have stuff like that yet. And please probably don't beam my videos into your head. It sounds unsafe. A lot of interesting cryptocurrency news. Let's hope that it continues. Let's hope that we end up getting favorable things. Yeah, I'm rubbish when it comes to any of these videos. So I'll talk to you all soon. See you.